All right, guys, what's happening? What I want to do today, we're in the third installment of Truth, right? Transform, recreate, unite, trust, honor. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the stuff we did this weekend here. I'll let Kendra take over the phone and talk about at Andy's house, doing the hard shit, what you felt, what you experienced, the workout. Just kind of share that stuff because we're going to talk today about unite, right? And I've got some stuff that I want to share with them.
Yeah.
But I want you to share this weekend. We're living in our dream, the lives we're recreating, the fitness portion of it, all of that stuff we've been able to do together.
Yeah. So I love being able to come on here and share with you guys because everything that Mark and I teach you guys, we are also implementing into our life. And so I think that, first of all, that's super important. I think it's super important to have coaches or people or mentors or whoever that you look up to that are also practicing what they preach. And so just this past weekend, oh, that's really close.
Yeah, you can sit back.
Okay. Mark and I were able to sneak away for a short weekend. We went back to Andy Elliott's. He was hosting an event this weekend, and it was actually more of a sales and marketing event, I think. But Mark and I were there to see how he was running his events, to see anything that we can implement inside of I Am a Comeback to make it stronger, to have higher energy, anything, or we were just sponges, absorbing, watching, viewing. And it's really dope because one of my favorite things, I know a lot of you guys, if you know me, your wives, fitness is a huge thing for me. So what was really cool was going to Andy's event. And on that Saturday morning, he had over 300 people, ages 17, I think, was the youngest kid to, geez Louise, probably all the way up to 60, honestly. And it was just a big community. It was loud energy, doing a grueling, hot, intense Arizona heat workout. It was awesome. And then later that evening, it was kind of a networking, everybody get together, shake hands, meet people. For me, probably more so than Mark. He's seen probably 10,000 of these events. He's seen, how people do things. But for me, really being put in a position to take these ideas and start implementing it inside of I Am a Comeback to give to you guys and to give to the wives was a huge thing for me. And so as we're talking about Unite on our third week here, the biggest thing that it did for me was really push me closer to Mark and to really see the vision again that he's been trying to paint for not only I Am a Comeback, but for our future together. And that's huge for me because I don't know what I don't know. And I know you guys have heard me say that before, but I need to see things. I need to see it. I can't, for me, my brain doesn't just work on visualizing things. I'm a dreamer and I can have, but for me, if I can see something, whether it's in writing, whether it's a picture, whether it's an event, whether it's a house architecture, once I see something, then that's when I'm able to look at something and say, oh, I really like this, or I don't like this, or holy cow, I didn't even know this existed. And so I think a huge part in Mark's construct of, not only building me, but building I Am a Comeback, building you guys, building our future for everybody was, I want to show this girl even what's even more possible. And so it really has unlocked a new level inside of me solely, and then a level where I am excited to build with Mark too. I think that's what you wanted me to talk about.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
But what I want you to talk about though is the physical portion of it. So last week we talked about recreation, right? Total recreation. If you guys are in my chat, which you all are, I'm hitting you guys with I had all you guys take a fucking picture with your shirt off last week, right?
Yeah,
I'm not here to pussyfoot around anymore.
Yeah.
We're either going to get in great shape, we're going to do this, or we're fucking not running together. I'm going to go find people that want to run with me, right? So I'm all about transforming. So this call specifically is about relationships. Mm-hmm. For me to be able to come who I am today and who I'm going to become, I had to do the same stuff I'm having you guys do. Transform myself, transform the business, transform Kendra, transform the kids, transform the team. We just did the first, guys, I literally went to my team this morning and I'm like, why are you guys not attending every call I do? These guys pay me a lot of money to come sit and listen to me, who trust me to go back to their businesses, to their relationships, to their families, to their people. They're getting results. Why are you guys not listening? So every area of my life, I needed to transform and recreate it to create a united front. We're going to talk about uniting today. But the piece that I want to talk about is, how important this is to make sure that you're doing the shit together. Yeah. If I get rid of all of the just cool things I can say and the way that I can make tones and things and words work. At the end of the day, doing everything together. Why are you not doing it? So there was a moment that I wanted to talk about. She didn't pick up on it. Not a moment, but about an hour-long workout.
Yeah, it was pretty grueling.
And it was grueling. It was high intensity. And for some of you guys, I don't know if you're in Arizona. I'm not sure if anyone, I know a couple of people are from Arizona live here, but I don't know if they're on the call. So 95, 98, 91. I don't know the exact temperature, but it's hot as balls out there. There's not a cloud in the sky.
Black concrete.
Black concrete. And we go front row, and it's Kendra, me, some woman, and then, a bunch of other people behind it. But as we're going through this workout, we're doing this workout. Guys, you guys all know I ripped my bicep off. So I have 4 or 5 months with not really being able to do dick. I'm just now a few months into being able to actually work out, but that stopped cardio. I couldn't do any. I hadn't done really a cardio workout in 2 years, right? Maybe like a real high intense cardio workout. And we got there, and I actually knew that this was going to be tough. Like, I went into this event, I went into this place saying, man, this is going to be super fucking tough. Part of my mind's like, I don't really want to do this. I know it's going to suck. It's going to be hot as fuck. I really don't want to do this. Like, an hour before going into it, I'm like, this is stupid. I don't have to do this. I got nothing to prove. But my wife here loves to do hard shit. This is the point that I want to talk about. Today is about unite. So transforming and recreating. I've built her to who she is. She came from the Army. The United States Army built her into something that she is, right? But at the end of the day, she's been with me for all these years. And here I am, the leader of this fucking thing, leading all the guys. And I'm going to go do a workout in it. And I didn't even tell her this. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't really want to do this, but I'm committed to recreating every aspect of my life. I'm committed to creating a better relationship. I'm committed to finding different levels and deeper levels of connection, deeper levels of friendship, deeper levels of trust, deeper levels of intimate sexual just encounters, right? Just everything that we want, everything that I want. So we're in this workout, and there's just nothing to do but to do it. I'm going to tell you guys right now, any of you guys who came to any of the workouts that we did previously.
Not even fucking close to what this workout was.
Not even close.
I'm going to venture to say, and this is like not a dig at you guys. I would honestly look at it as a place to be able to improve. I don't think there's maybe one guy on this call that could have made it through that entire workout.
It was fucking brutal. But here's the point. I'm not here to put us up on something to show you guys what it is. In the moments when I'm the leader of this thing, I look over at my wife, and as doubts coming in, or I'm battling, I don't want to do this. She's over there pushing herself, doing the stuff. And I'm thinking about you guys. I'm thinking about what we stand for. I'm thinking about what's going to happen after. I'm thinking about, how do I take this moment of sacrifice? Because I don't have to be here. Like, I didn't have to be there. I chose to go out there. She didn't have to do it. We chose to go. We willingly went to a place to suffer. How many of you guys are going to a place in your relationships willingly to break through the stories, the lies, the suffering, the fear, the financial insecurities, the growth pattern some of you guys are on?
Let me tell you guys, for me, since we're on Unite, and probably hold the united part in our relationship more sacred and more serious than any other level, probably, that we're going to go through in these next 5 weeks. When we're doing that workout, and again, it was nasty. It was grueling. And one of the most incredible things that I kept reiterating in my head over and over and over again is, I'm not going to let myself down, but I'm not going to fucking let my husband down. We're one. We are one. When somebody is looking at Mark, they're looking at me. When somebody's looking at me, they're looking at fucking Mark.
Write that down for yourselves.
And I take this with such a severity that when we're doing this workout and I see that my husband is struggling, because he was giving it all he's got. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that there was no way he was going to quit. There was no way he was going to tap out, but he was hurting. He was hurting. And as soon as I saw that, I knew that I had to step it up. I knew that I had to keep going. I knew that I had to level myself up in a whole other way, even though I'm sweating my ass off, even though my legs are shaking, even though I'm like holding myself in this push-up position. I literally was looking over at my husband, and I was like, I'm not going to let us down. I'm not going to be that wife that anybody looks at me and is like, oh, well, she did a half-ass rep, or, oh, she didn't really do the whole thing, or, oh, no, I was never going to be that person. And I'm never going to be that person. And that's, again, because I am so united and I am so close with my husband that the reflection that I give off is a direct reflection of him.
And to mirror it back, so as we're going through that, because my knee's fucked, I need surgery in a couple different areas. I just had they made a special spot for the people that are injured to go do this workout. I'm injured as fuck, and there's no possible way I'm going to go do what the injured guys do. So I willingly went in here to do one thing. Not prove to anybody else, but to prove to my wife who the fuck we are.
And to prove to my husband that, hey, we're one. I got you. I got us. I got myself. I think that is one of the most integral pieces in being united, in being together, showing up as your highest, most valuable, hardest, psychopathic, whatever you have to do, part in your relationship, in yourself. That was huge, you guys.
So we're talking about it from a place of physical pain and suffering that we went through to be able to do it. And I'll be honest, as I'm slowing down, she's like, let's go. I look at her, I speed up.
Mm-hmm.
There's times that she's going, I encourage her. We got people puking around us, behind us. But there was a moment where we were locked in and all you could hear was, I could hear her breathing. I could hear the music. And in that moment, I knew there's not a place in the world I'd rather be than suffering alongside my wife.
And that's why it's so important that you guys get your wives involved in this. Is to be one, can you guys ask yourself this question right now? If you were in that situation, in that position, one, would you have quit on yourself? One, could you even have made it through? Would you even have pushed yourself and suffered through that? And two, could you count on your wife to be able to pick up the slack or to be able to hold that peace for you if you were struggling? Is she somebody that you would have been like, fuck yes, that's my wife. I know she's going to hold this down. That's why your wives need to be here, you guys. This isn't just, we don't just say that because it sounds good. It's integral. It is so important in being united in everything that you guys do. Mark says it best when he says, I am a direct mirror. I am a direct reflection of what he is. And vice versa. Being able to count on each other, being able to count on each other.
So the purpose of today's call is to really truly figure out or ask yourselves if you guys are truly moving as one.
Are you guys truly united? And to me, truly united is one flesh, one soul, one fucking major goal in our life that we are both so ruthlessly committed to that we're going all in. And I mean, and honestly, you guys should all have your wives being ruthlessly committed, united in all the first 4 F's of the 7 F's, all on the exact same page, all ruthlessly committed to the same thing. And I'm not talking about the exact same goal, right? I'm not saying, your wife has to, whatever your fitness goal is, but there needs to be ruthlessly committed individually to your fitness, ruthlessly committed in your faith, ruthlessly committed to your family, right? All the 7 F's are all of them, yes, are integral, but the first 4, you guys should all be completely united in those first 4.
Show of hands, how many of your guys' wives know what the comeback 7 are? About half the room.
Now raise your hands if you all want a significant other or a spouse. I don't know if everybody's married on here. I can't even see everybody on here. But if you want to be able to look over your significant other and be so fucking proud and know that they got you in the most grueling of times. Yeah, all of you guys should have your hands raised. For sure you should. Every single person should be able to look over at their significant other in the hardest, most grueling, most struggle times and say, all right, I know she's got this, or I know I've got this. I know we're going to get through this because we're united as one. Literally. Everybody should have that, want that. And you only get that by, what do you have right here?
So here, I want you to write this down. Unite, N-I-T-E, undeniable, natural, in unison, telepathic emotions. Chris, you can write that down. Undeniable. What does that mean? So undeniable, natural, in unison, telepathic emotions. In simple words, have you ever guys had that? I'm sure some of you guys have felt this. You ever had this feeling where your wife, you can finish her sentences before she does, or she can finish them before you? Like it's almost like you guys know each other so well. You're on the same page. Like the frequency you're operating at, it's just going and it's operating at a high level. And you guys know what's going on, and you're moving and grooving through thick, through thin. You can see what's going on. In that moment, we were in the workout. She knew what was going on inside of me without me having to tell her. Mm-hmm. It was undeniable. It was natural. It was an instinct. At the same time, in unison, she's like, dang, my husband, who fucking goes up every day against to war, here he is. He's doing it. He won't quit, but I can tell I need him. I need to motivate. So I got to go a little bit more. And she literally is sending me energy and thoughts. And I look over and it's wink set eyes and high fives because we know we got each other. And it's so natural that the emotion and the energy rises and it rises up. And then I'm like, oh, cool. We got to do exercise. So then I have to speed up because it's a reminder. It's a visual superpower. Write this down. Is my wife my visual superpower? Meaning when people look at her, do they see all the work that I do? Do they see everything that I stand for? Do they see everything that I am? Has the amount of growth in self-development and improvement in our relationship or in myself transferred into her so she can stand on her own 2 feet if anything ever happened to me? Look, I'm not here to build a cyborg wife, right?
Well, that would be pretty cool if you could. I'm up for the challenge.
I'm not here to build that. What I am here to build is somebody that could, if anything ever happened to me, would be okay. She could take care of herself mentally, emotionally, physically, financially. She would know how to build a business from the ground up, a coaching business, because that's what I'm good at. She could go and she could move and persuade people and help people do what they need to do. She could lead the kids with or without me. I'm here literally to build a relationship that if I die, and God forbid if I die, but if I did die and she's 32 years old and in 20 years or 10 years or 3 years or 5 years, some other dude comes into her life, that motherfucker can never take my spot. You know what it's like to work on a relationship from a place where you know that even if you die, you're in control. Even if I die, I'm in control. Every move, every dollar, insurance, kids, I'm playing in a game that she don't even know about. That's why it's so important to this, because I want to be one soul, one flesh. I mean, two souls, one flesh on this world, experiencing life, walking through this world together, hand in hand, visual superpowers, looking our best. Watch what we do in 2025. And I'm not saying that to put us put us on a pedestal, but I'm going to fucking blow this thing up. I'm going to build my wife alongside me. I'm going to unite this thing. So what I'm talking about, this undeniable, natural, in unison. We'll stop right there. Thoughts, this telepathic, almost just energy that like, oh, here's what I'm thinking. Here's what we need to do. Here's where we're going. This is the direction. Emotions every day. You know where this comes from, guys? This. It's not like we have some superpower. I don't work for the Avengers. What I'm talking about is that every day of my life, I'm steering this thing.
Let me fill you guys in on like a top-notch nugget or like top-notch secret. Every single one of you gentlemen wants your wife to be your greatest fucking superpower right next to you, right? Nod your heads, right? Every single fucking one of you want that. The only way your wife is going to become that is when you become that first. That's it. That's the fucking secret. Become that weapon yourself, and your wife will reflect that directly. If my husband was fat, if my husband wasn't doing the work, if he wasn't future casting, if he wasn't talking to me about everything that he talks to me about every single day, if Mark wasn't the man he said he was going to be, I wouldn't be in this position. I wouldn't be able to be that wife that he can put on a pedestal and handle anything that life throws at me. I'm that woman because he's that fucking man. That's it. That's it.
And if she didn't, our relationship would be dead. Think about that.
All the answers and all of the pieces that you're looking for is in the work that you guys are or are not doing. That's it. That's it. There is no complicated formula. There is no Avengers type of superpower. Become the man, and your wife will emulate that. So why do exactly what you say you're going to do every single time. Get in the most peak, best physical shape that you've ever been in your entire life. Communicate and over-communicate and over-communicate some more to your wife. Talk about everything. Be so united that you become one flesh, two souls, one flesh.
So I want you guys to take a minute and just write this down. Hearing the intensity that she's speaking with and everything that we're sharing with you, and say, who do I have to become? This question I've asked it to you guys over and over and over. But here's the thing, guys. Physical recreation, mental recreation, relationship recreation. Like, our relationship is born again. We go to bed, we kiss each other at night. I roll over, she rolls over, we go to sleep. We wake up in the next day. I hit my knees, I pray over. I'm thankful for this new day. Who the fuck are we going to become today? How do we play this game? Like, this world is what we're creating. This is our mark. This is our legacy. I want you to feel the same way about yours. And you should. And if you don't, why? If you don't truly feel, or if you're with somebody that doesn't feel that way about their life, they're not like, why? It's not, if you're the husband on here, you're leading them. It's because you're not letting her see the person that you want to become. It's not that you don't want to be that person. You're just not allowing yourself to become that person. You're putting on the brakes. And maybe some of you guys are single. I don't believe so. Or you're in a place where the relationship's where it's not where you want it to be. And there's some hard decisions, some hard truths you have to make, some things you have to do. I don't think giving up is one of them. I don't think anybody should give up on their relationship until they fully exhaust every opportunity for them to become something more than they were when they woke up this morning, and they wake up tomorrow, and they wake up the next day. So when you get on here, Grant, you're like, yeah, I don't know what it is. My wife loves me. She said she loves me. It's because she's seeing a crumb. She's seeing the work that you're doing. She's seeing you change. She's seeing the way you look at the kids. She's seeing the way that you're going to work. Okay. Now that you're seeing that shit, this is where you double down. And you bring her in. She needs to be on one of these calls. You need to watch this call. I'm not just saying this to do this, right? Like, guys, I'll give you 5 calls a week. I could mail it in on any call. We don't have to do this. I did this because I want to make fucking lives change. I'm after your heart. I'm after your wife's heart. I'm after your kid's heart.
That next level that all you kings are looking for is in direct correlation with your wife's involvement in this group. One of the hardest things, and it's still a story that I'm breaking through myself, but Mark gives all of his like hired successes and credit and the elevation to where we're going. He says it's because of me. All of you guys need to have your wives on board with you, and you guys need to be pushing each other to that next level. And how do you push your wife to that next level? And how do you get to that next level is by being that direct reflection, becoming that man, becoming that superhuman, going all in on your life, going all in on your wife, going all in on your kids.
We actually put together some steps that I want you guys to do. But before I give you the steps, or this is actually the stuff that we do. So Sunday nights before we do this call, we spend time saying, here, how do we help them?
Yep.
Like we actually spend an hour sitting down and what can we do? I'm really good at putting things together. We talked about transforming your relationship. The recreation is the action steps you're taking, and the action steps are designed to get you to unite in ways you've never been able to unite, which will create the trust and it will honor this relationship on a bed of truth. You see what I did right there? I just took a word, gave it actionable steps. It's one of the gifts that I have, but it makes fucking sense. And when I sit down and I do this on Sundays, I'm like, damn, that's pretty cool. I can do that. Little feather on my cap. But the reality is it's actually stuff that I've done. So I take applicable messages that I do over and over and over and who I've been becoming. 6 years ago, I could not hug her. I could not love her the way she needed to be loved, but I chose to love her because I knew that if I would just keep going and pursuing this level, and I would be unapologetic and unashamed and not embarrassed of my failures or my shortcomings as who I was in a relationship, right? Of all of the shit that I've been through, that if I would forgive myself because someone's willing to forgive me and wanted to build alongside me, we could build something of its significance. And it got stronger and stronger. So when she says, she's like, yeah, he gives most of the credit to me. It's 100% the truth. It's 100% the truth. Money doesn't mean shit if you're alone. Business would have no purpose without her. There's what we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 people on this call who has wives that are going to take it back. And there's a bunch of other people who are waiting to get on this call. Or they didn't show up on this call. They're in the alliance or they're in the council and they're like, yeah, I stopped drinking and I want to get paid and I want to get laid. But then, like I said last week, nobody wants to bring their wife and talk about it because they're busy or doing some shit. Okay, cool. Then as a man, as a leader, because I've done this too, I take what I get and I bring it back. So whatever you're feeling invoked inside of you today, you need to bring it back. The conversations at your dinner table should not be about people.
Right.
Should not be about the past. Should not be about shit that doesn't matter. You got kids? You need to be talking about how you're going to make your kids better. Mm-hmm. We got off the plane. We came home last night, and the girls come home, but I picked them up and they just dropped their shit. I'm like, no, things are actually changing here. Because guess what? Mom's not just going to clean up after you all the time. Which
I do.
Which she does all the time, right? But as we're recreating and building this thing, those details matter. I can't get on here and be like, wait a minute, I'm going to hold all these guys accountable to things. I'm going to hold myself to a certain level. I'm going to do all these things to a certain level, but I'm not going to hold my fucking kids. Mm-hmm. How many of you guys are holding your kids to the level they need to be held to? How many of your kids right now are not eating the way they should be eating? How many of your kids are doing things that they shouldn't be doing? Not because you don't love them. It's because you didn't hold yourself accountable. Mm-hmm. It's because you didn't do what you needed to do. But we can today. So what I want to do is give you, I got 1, 2 things I want you to write down. Number one, so the goal here for this topic, this conversation is to know what each other thinks before it's said, to become one unit.
And you guys only really get that when you guys do everything together.
I had a guy.
I know that should go without saying, kind of, but the reason I know my husband as well as I do, because there's not one thing that we don't do together. Business, fitness, whatever.
I had a guy this morning. His name is Dana. He was going to work for us. And he sent me a message saying that he doesn't want to work here just because it's at home, which is great. Actually, it's a benefit to me. And but the reason that he gave me of why is because this working at home thing doesn't give him enough opportunity to be away from his wife so that they miss each other again.
Bullshit.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And I see Corey and Vicky laughing because I know you guys are in that room all the time, right? But I don't want a relationship that's sex, connection, fun, happiness, laughter, enjoyment. I have to go away to come back to, because that's a manufactured motherfucking emotion. Mm-hmm. I want to build a united relationship to where my wife is arm in arm. I never get sick of this chick. I never get sick of her. I leave the house. I make it 5 minutes down. I'm already missing her.
Text you. I miss you already.
I miss you because I want to be with her. Mm-hmm. I want her to be with me everywhere I go. My kids are going to move on. My daughters are going to find better men than me. My son is hopefully and willingly going to be a better man than me if I do my job correctly. Mm-hmm. She's going to be with me forever. Why would I want to miss her? I don't know if tomorrow's promised. So I want to get a job that I'm going to go work all day and then I'm going to come home or be long enough to miss her. That's a fucking lie that this world sold you on. Mm-hmm. But she could be right with me all day long building something. Is it as annoying as I am? I'm sure, right? Future casting, nonstop, high energy, eating all the chicken, right? Like doing these things. I built a world that where I literally can have this woman whenever I want. So I want you to do, I don't know what your guys' relationships look like or what your jobs look like, but here's the point. When that guy said that to me, I'm like, that's a dude I cannot do life with, because that means that you're not putting the time into actually having the relationship go the way. If you need to leave to make something work, it's not going to work. If you can't do it together, and think about this, how many households during COVID probably got divorces after because they were stuck together hating each other for a long time? Not Kendra and I. We worked out, we got fit, we made some money. We had people over, worked on the farm. We did everything together. Oh, well, that's you guys. No, man. I fucking usually don't even want people around me. For those you guys, like, I'm getting better at it. But you guys know that. Most of you guys are all close to me. You know that. I just don't usually want people around me. I realize that's something I need to recreate about myself, which is another topic we'll talk about. But in the relationship at home, I needed this person next to me. I shouldn't say that. I didn't need her. I wanted. She tells me all the time. Well, it's been a while actually, but she's like, well, you don't really need me. I said, need, no. Want, desire, crave, every fucking minute. I don't need anybody. I was built for this shit. I was built to face the world alone, empty, with the chip on my shoulder, ready to fight, to build at any moment, just like all of you guys. This is another lie I want you guys to debunk. There should be no fighting in your relationship. People say that fighting is healthy.
I call BS on that hard.
Where's that healthy? Maybe disagreement, but where's that healthy? I don't know what it was like in your guys' household or childhood growing up, but I grew up in a household where my mom and dad beat the shit out of each other. Plates getting smashed, me getting hit with a plate, broke over my head, spaghetti on the wall, mom spitting in my dad's face, full-blown knockout punches to her from that's what it looked like every day of my life.
Too many times and too often people have sold themselves on the story that arguments and elevated conversation and rage, they're mistaking that for passion. And that's where that bullshit term, oh, sex is so much greater, makeup sex, whatever. I'm here to tell you guys right now that if you need to get into an argument or you feel like you need to, get into an argument or have that elevated disagreement with your spouse where things are so heated and you're calling that passion, I'm telling you right now, there is no greater passion and no greater sex and no greater than having a peaceful, intimate, united relationship. I'm telling you right now, that's a bullshit story that the world has cultivated because too many people can't have a mutual conversation. And I tell people all the time, because we get this. Oh, you guys never fight? No, we don't fight. We disagree plenty. Sure, there's honestly more times than not, I probably disagree with Mark if I'm being honest. But at the end of the day, I know that we are two incredibly intelligent humans, that he's seeing something in a way that in the light that he's seeing it. And although I don't disagree, or I may not agree with it, I'm not saying that he's wrong. Too many times people forget to be, and again, we go back to like this friendship thing if you guys want to, but too many times people forget that the best relationships are just badass friendships. Being considerate of each other's feelings, right? I think that's a huge one. Too many people, I truly am so grateful every day that Mark is my best friend. And I go into it knowing that, and I've told you guys, I don't pretend to know what it's like to be in his shoes. I don't pretend to understand everything that goes on in his crazy head. The least I can do is be kind and considerate and be like, all right, you know what? I may not see it that way, but if that's how you see it, then that's how you see it. This is how I see it. We speak our piece and we fucking move on. And in the end, that is a stronger and a more passionate connection than two people yelling and fighting and bickering at each other. Because at the end of the day, I can look at my husband and be like, damn, you know what? I really want to just jump your bones right now because you handled that conversation so gracefully.
I get a pole vault. Let's do this.
Yeah.
So here, I got another call coming up. So I want to give you guys a little bit, some things that we do to be able to do this. Obviously at the forefront is physical fitness.
Fitness.
So to be on the same page, physical fitness, pushing each other beyond our breaking points, like we mentioned, encouraging and lifting each other up, like that's a big deal. Mm-hmm. And this is not something that we don't do the same workout, but it happened this morning. Kendra hit her PR. I mean, hell, even Kevin was there. Mike was there. They're on the other side of the cameras right now. We're working out collectively as a team right now, trying to push some stuff at the HQ, but being there to push her through the moments when she's hard and vice versa through me, right? When I looked over at that, I was never going to quit, but it didn't mean that I didn't have a spot in my mind that said, hey, dude, your knee feels like it's going to fall apart right now. In that moment, I was able to look at my wife who's doing well, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to draw some of your strength, send it over my way so I can finish strong. And as a man who's a leader, gets up every day and puts it out there when she knows clearly, and everyone knows, well, not everyone, but she clearly knows what I'm up against, silent, fighting with no one knows because I don't want to be a fucking pussy because I'm not a fucking pussy, but I keep doing what I do because it's what I do, because I say what I'm going to do. She's able to lend me some of her strength. And there's pride in holding up that piece together because nobody knows what you're battling, but you're battling alongside of each other. And you can find out what you're made of and what your relationship looks like through the physical fitness. Second is communication beyond verbal. Okay? I'm not just talking about the words, so write these down, right? Physical fitness. Second, communication beyond verbal. This is reading body language. This is understanding from the side of the room or from when we're doing something, okay? Like when we're at Andy's event, and she's there with me and I'm reading, I could tell by her stance and her posture if she's interested in hearing what this person has to say, or if they're just, we need to get away, or we need to do something different, or if she's uncomfortable, or she can read me if I'm tight, if I'm angry, if I'm aggro. It's not what I say, it's how I look. It's the body language, right? The energy and the emotion. Reading, not like reading towards each other, but watching what each other's doing through a conversation. She knows when I'm fucked up. So she'll be able to tell me and come be like, hey, I can feel this is what's going on with you. She knows when I walk into the house what's happening. The feelings went apart. Paying attention, you know those feelings like, oh, I think I need to text them. Oh, I think I need to call them. They're on my mind. That's something that's something that's like sending, there's thinking. This person needs me. My person needs me. Maybe just for a hello, maybe not. Maybe to get milk. I don't know. But to understand there's a feeling that, like, pay attention to that feeling. Signs from God. For us, a lot of times what happens is in nature. Nature will put shit in front of us. It'll put paths in front of us like, oh, hey, like, this is what you guys are doing. This is where you're at. Things are speaking to us. We're being spoke to and through even together. I mean, how many times has the sunset, we've called each other at the same time of a sunset or a sunrise, and we're like, oh, you got to look at and we're like, we're literally calling each other like on that same page. Third is praise and support. Now, write this down. It's very easy to praise and support. Like, good job, babe. Nice game. I'll see you in the shower. Right? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about speaking to who they are becoming, not who they are. I've never really talked to Kendra in Kendra's form that she's in right now, like current form. Yeah. I'm there with her. I'm present with her.
He supports me a hell of a lot.
But I'm trying to call her up. I had a head start. I have a head start. I'm obsessed with self-development. I'm obsessed with books. I'm obsessed with reading. I'm obsessed with winning. You guys are getting the energy inside of the group right now. I'm like, ah, man, maybe it's too much. Ah, fuck it. Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe I should send them more. I don't care. I'm obsessed right this second. And it's not to call you guys out. It's to call everybody up. And it's the same thing with her. I need to speak to who I know she can be, because if I could speak to who she can be, then she could see where I need her to see. She can become who I need her to become, so I can become who I need to become. Because the last thing I want to do is pour all of my heart, all of my energy into a relationship and then to fall apart because she didn't want to grow. The other thing inside of praise and support is never, ever, ever speak bad about one another. Never.
I don't even partake in those conversations, and everybody's heard them, whether you're in the line at the grocery store, you're at pickup with whatever at a sporting event, and a husband or wife will make the joke of, oh, you're saving this spot for your husband, or, oh, are you sure you want him to sit by you? We just had this happen on the airplane. Oh, are you sure? Oh, are you sure you want them with you? Every single time I shut that shit down, and I'm just like, yeah, actually I do. I like when my husband is near me. I don't share that shame response as you do. I actually like when my husband is doing everything with me. Or, oh, you must need a break. Actually, I don't. I never need a break. You know how many people I've stopped in their tracks, husbands more specifically, when they say, oh, you must need a break from that guy. No, I don't actually. I actually wish he was with me right this second. I never speak badly. I would never open up a pathway for anybody to speak or say anything negatively or badly about Mark.
This includes laughing when they're like, ha, yeah, agree. No, man.
No, I don't actually.
Shut it down. Because the minute you invite that into your world, mediocrity comes seeping in.
Especially when you guys are on this new elevation of changing. People are always going to look for a way to fucking pull you right back into that mediocre lifestyle. And that includes laughing at your significant other. They're just looking for a weakness. All right. Oh, I bet I can get him to say something bad about his wife this second. Oh, I bet I can get him to crack some joke. Fuck that. Absolutely not. Shut it down immediately.
And another step, you guys want to go above and beyond. Say you're with some buddies. I do this with my brother. He wants to talk about his wife or make a joke about another woman. I'm like, bro, I don't fucking participate in any of that conversation, and I leave.
Or Mark will literally say, I don't care about any other woman. I got my wife at home, and that's all that matters to me. Boom. End of conversation. Story shut down. Guys want to crack jokes about, oh, look at that ass, or look at that woman's boobs, or whatever guys say. I don't even know what they say. But my husband, every time, absolutely not. I actually don't look at any other woman except for my wife. That's it. And for the wives too, if there was more on here, right?
And talking about on that thing, never talking bad about each other includes to each other, right? We got our own little jokes on the inside jokes, but like, I don't talk poorly to her to hurt her.
Never.
I talk to her with truth and honesty and respect to get her to do more, just like she does me.
Praise. Very good at praise. Yeah.
I talk poorly about myself.
And I shut it down.
She shuts it down. Think about that. And I'm like the king of trying to be in positive mental attitude. I built this thing. But in my home where it's safe and it's a sanctuary and I'm away from people, there's things that I say that I don't even recognize I say. I'm saying, what are you talking about? That's not who you are. That's who you were. It's actually not even who you were. That was a lie. That's a story. I don't want to hear it. That's praise. That's support. Future casting. This is Kendra's favorite. As you guys know, she loves to coach on it and teach it. It's literally her favorite. But some things inside of future casting is finding clues and visuals of where you're going. Maybe it's on this call. Maybe it's sharing it. Maybe you guys don't want a relationship. Maybe there's someone else out there that you want, you know? Maybe it's more about something your wife always wanted, you know? So we use real life places, locations. We also use Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Like these are some of the tools. I speak through her through future casting through Instagram a lot.
Through travel things. He loves to send me places. So one of our things that I know you guys know is traveling is huge for us. Our Instagram is filled with incredibly beautiful, wondrous places. Mark and I send that to each other because we know that that's something that we share commonalities in, and that's where we want to go. Creating a spot. This is the next one. Raw emotions. How many of your wives know the real you? I'm talking about the absolutely psychopathic, downright dangerous, downright villainous thoughts that have ever gone inside your head. I got a different question. How many of you guys actually know you? How many of you guys know you? Yeah, that's great. How many of you guys have actually made friends with the fucking absolute killer and psycho on the inside? The one that you question because you're a God-fearing man, but you know that at any second you could turn a fucking corner and just be a psycho and kill somebody. The primal piece inside you that pulls you, the one that drove you to get to this point, the one that you have suffocated and shut down for such a long time, the one that gets up in the middle of the night when somebody's going to try to attack your family and you don't think about it. The piece of your soul that is so fucking dark that it can't even see the light because you know down there that you're festering coal and hatred. And every man has it. Even men who love God and get on their knees and pray to God and believe in God just like me every day. How many of you guys truly know that part of you? And then how many of you guys would actually willingly let your life know that? So the raw emotions is the only time that I can truly free me and she can be her. One of the greatest gifts that you can give each other, your spouse, your significant other, is being your full, authentic self, including all those psychopathic, downright killer, villainous, right? The only way to cultivate, in my opinion, one of the ways to create a true, genuine soul level connection is to be so vulnerable with one another that you know all the ins and outs and never use it against each other. That's true connection. That's true strength. That's true unitedness. Was that a word? You can be whatever. It sounds like a word, unitedness. All words are made up by man anyway, so it can be whatever the fuck you want. I love it. The last thing, or there's two things, but the last one is soul-freeing sex. Like, I don't know, you guys don't I don't need to have the ins and outs of you guys' sex life, nor mine, but for me, there's a difference between just having sex or having connection or being into it, and then making the moments in your life to where there is nothing going on except for what is going on between you and your wife. To where time stops, you can literally see the soul rise out of her chest, the breath, the intensity, the passion. The connection is so deep that you could get out a sword and you could cut it. And in those moments, you can connect through ways. This has happened almost every time I come back from an experience journey. That piece right there is the piece that every one of you guys want to hunt down. Every man on this call wants to hunt down. Kendra wasn't looking for it. I went and got it to give it to her. I've said this. I didn't want to love a million women one way. I wanted to love one woman a million different ways. Every single time that I touch my wife, I try to make it like it's the first time, not the last. The last thing I want to leave you guys with, because we got to hop on another call, or I have to hop on another call, is do what you said you will do. Always. That's how you unite. This is a couples call. And I want to thank Amy for coming on. She's been on a couple of them. I don't know if anyone else is on here. And I want to Vicky's on there too. So thank you, Vicky, for coming on and being around here. But for you guys out here that are in this group with me, guys, things are changing. This world that we live in inside of I'm a Comeback. We're deep on transformation. We're even deeper on connection.
building and creating a brotherhood and an alliance of kings. We're close. I want your wives to experience this. Some of them, I got text messages or some people are like, that's a cult. It's a cult in a good way. We heard Andy say this weekend. If I brainwash you into loving your wife and searching for ways to satisfy her beyond what she can even comprehend inside of this world, that you can build a business that rains profit on you in ways and money and purpose that helps leave the world a better place, that you can look in the mirror and you can be so fucking proud of your body at 45, 55 years old, that your kids will look up to you, that they will change the path of your last name because you took your life so seriously. You can call me a cult all day long because that's what I want to do. It's information I provide you guys with, the stuff that we do here, the way we speak it to you. I want you to win.
Yes.
I want you guys to win. I want you guys to stick with me for a long time. I'm going to keep running and building and gunning and coaching and leading and learning. Hopefully get my voice back a little bit. So with a recap real quick, the goal is for you guys to figure out how to know each other know what each other thinks before it's even said, and to become one unit. And you may think you have it and you might to this level, but I'm telling you right now, there's even levels beyond what I'm going for right now. And for the next 40, 50 years, 60 years of my life, hopefully I get to live to be like 105 to 111 and still do pull-ups like I want to.
Yeah.
I'll be about 111 years old. I'm going to figure out ways to satisfy her at every single turn, every opportunity. And when I use the word satisfy, it's the only area of my life that I try to satisfy. Everything else, I stay hungry. And I try to satisfy it knowing that there's an itch that needs to be scratched. There's a developmental stage and process and a level to unlock. I want you guys to look at your wives when you get off this call and hug them in ways you've never freaking hugged them. Speak into them. Believe in them. We went from writing down goals about chickens to talking like this, to eventually packing a stadium together, to changing the way that the girls call me dad. That's been my biggest win of 2024. Whatever year we're in, 2024. You know where that come from? How I treated their mother. The work I do the work I do on me, but how I treat their mother, how I show up every day, reliable, responsible, convicted, certain, passionate, energetic, deeply seeking next levels of connection with them. I'm getting kicked off here, guys. All right. That's it for this week. We'll see you guys next Monday. Have a great week.